The Friendly Atheist put out a video called 20 Short Arguments Against God's Existence, and this is part of a playlist responding to those arguments. You can get the whole playlist down in the description below. This is the argument I'm handling in this video.
The opening lines of the Bible are factually wrong. Why should we believe the rest of it?
Now, I'm not going to be able to cover everything in Genesis 1 and 2 and all the way through Genesis 11 today. One day I hope to come to that in my online content. Right now, let's focus on the opening line of Genesis 1:1. It is far more profound and meaningful than most modern readers realize. It says in Genesis 1:1, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." And this is a profound claim. You see, it doesn't say universe, but that's because in the Hebrew, there's no word for universe there. What they do is they use the phrase heavens and earth to talk about the universe. So the subject is the whole of creation, all of the universe, and it says something about it, two things, right? That it had a beginning point, that the universe had a beginning point, and that God is the one that brought it into existence at that beginning point. So let's not miss the profound implications of Genesis 1:1. The universe, according to the Bible, the opening line of Genesis, had a beginning, a very first moment, and it came into existence out of nothing. This is what we call creation ex nihilo, out of ex nihilo, nothing. Creation out of nothing. The ancient cosmologies of the time didn't agree with this. This was like a uniquely Bible thing, right? Modern people don't realize how controversial this was even more recently. Gregory L. Neighbor, in his book, Space-Time Singularities and Introduction, he said the following: "Throughout all of human history, the universe was regarded as fixed and immutable, and the idea that it might actually be changing was inconceivable." See, this can be seen as like a scientific prediction from the Bible that went against both the science of the day as well as, for thousands of years, the consistent belief of science up until very recently. See, something has totally changed, and the Bible was actually proven right on the opening line of Genesis. In the first half of the 20th century, scientists changed their minds because of Einstein's equations about the general theory of relativity, combined with Friedrich and Lemaitre's model based on those equations, combined with Edwin Hubble's discovery of like background radiation and the Doppler effect of light shifting red and all this kind of stuff. The point is this: that whether you are looking back and saying, we think the universe has all these miracles resulting in its current existence, or if you try to apply a naturalistic model to the universe, either way, you're forced to a beginning point. That's the thing. No matter what side of the aisle you're on when it comes to miracles, you have to say that the universe came into existence out of nothing, and we don't know of any cause that could have done this, apart from something that was, I don't know, spaceless, timeless, immaterial, all-powerful, something a lot like God. Physicists John Barrow and Frank Tipler said this: "At this singularity, that's the moment when all this stuff came into existence, space and time came into existence. Literally nothing existed before the singularity. So if the universe originated at such a singularity, we would truly have a creation ex nihilo." That's in their book, The Anthropic Cosmological Principle. All of this information combined together with plus philosophical arguments for, which is another video altogether, for the impossibility of a past eternal universe. This basically says, hey, that first line of Genesis, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth," that's very consistent with what modern science has discovered against the expectations of thousands of years. So in this case, the opening lines of Genesis are in fact right. Now let's zoom out and remind ourselves of exactly what's happening in this video series. Hemant Mehta is trying to say, here's reasons to believe God doesn't exist. So this particular challenge from the Friendly Atheist fails on two counts. On one count, if you were to show that something was wrong with the text of Scripture, it doesn't mean God doesn't exist. And two, at least for the opening line of Genesis, I think I've demonstrated that there's good reason to think it actually went against the thinking of the time and affirmed real true things about reality. And so I find that to at least be somewhat impressive. Now, what we do with this information, when we find out that the universe has a true beginning out of nothing, this is a profound piece of evidence in an argument for God's existence that I'll be talking about in a later video in this series. But the next video is going to be a response to the challenge that prayer has never fixed anything impossible.